Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of CrazyDNA. And this is your creative Craze saying a big hello to the world out there. Now, as the title suggests, why Airzzz? Now, I told you there are three main reasons why I would be making Airzzz. But for those of you who are wondering what I'm really talking about, can go down to the description box below and click onto the link that is going to take you straight to the elementary season episode 1 of CrazyDNA series. You can invest a little bit of time there and then come back here and play the play button, and then you'll know what I'm really talking about. To remind you again, AV stands for audio videos. Why I would be making audio videos? There are three main reasons for doing so. So let's get started. Reason number 1. Reason number 1 is a very emotional reason for me. Now, why I'm saying emotional? Because I'm a person who comes from the radio era. The era where radio was a must in every household. I had it in my household, and I'm damn sure that you guys must be having it in your household, in your growing up years when you were kids, and the fancy radios, you might be having them now as well. So that is why I say that it is a very emotional reason for me. It makes me nostalgic, and I still love the radio. I love the radio and will always love the radio. But before that, I want to tell you why I love it so much. Now, in my growing up years, as I already told you, I have seen the radio in every home sweet home that I have been. What I mean by that is I have not only seen it at my place, my paternal grandfather's place, my maternal grandfather's place. My paternal grandfather, he had a very old classic Murphy radio, the huge big wooden case radios with those two eye-like knobs on them. He had that, and I guess he had that when he was a boy, and by the time I was born and I could really understand that this is a radio and this is how it works, it was more or less like an antique showpiece then. However, in my household and my maternal grandfather, he also had a radio that was the most classic radios of all times. That was a black, small, portable Murphy radios with that small silver horizontal button that was used for tuning, and there were two small buttons on the right side panel that were used for on and off in volume. Now, he still has it. He'll always have it while he's anywhere practically in the house, whether he's on his bed or whether he's on his work table, whether he's on the dining table, you are always going to find him with that radio. We also had that, but obviously it doesn't work now. We have fancy radios now. We have the Sony radios now. Sony radios, we had the old, audio cassette player that used to be there. Nowadays everybody's got CDs and iPods. So I guess nobody remembers the audio cassette, but they were very much in fashion, very much in vogue in yesteryears. And so we had that beautiful big 2-speaker and an amazing Sony audio cassette player. Now, the best feature about that was it had an inbuilt radio as well. Now, if I am to compare the kind of radio channels that are booming these days to the radio channel, not S, only channel that was booming and buzzing and blossoming in yesteryears, there is a hell of a lot of difference. Nowadays, you'll find a number of songs, Hollywood, Bollywood, you'll have the traffic news and a lot of Hollywood, Bollywood gossip. But other than that, the radio channels, they lack a lot of substance. They lack a lot of metal, I would say. They lack a lot of full entertainment value. Now, why I'm saying full entertainment value? Because just listening to the songs is not about having a radio. It's not the essence of the radio, if I'm to say it right. If I compare it with the earlier years, the old radio channel that still airs, that is the AIR, All India Radio, there were so many programs on it. apart from the news that used to be there, the slow reading transcript, the slow reading of the news. I don't know why they did that way, but still it's an epic. And apart from that, there were so many programs. There were request programs specifically for civilians and soldiers who used to write their requests on postcards and letters. Then there were specific medical related programs that catered to different kinds of diseases, cures, seasonal diseases, etc. There were programs dedicated solely to housewives for recipes, for household tips, etc. There were a lot of dramas, romance, horror, comedy, different genres. It wasn't just related to one thing that I can just stick on like today's channel, that is just songs. And apart from that, the most classic, epic thing for which the radio is known and will always be known is the cricket commentary. And what better cricket commentary would you have if it's a match between India versus Pakistan? So I'm sure you would now be able to understand why I said the radios today, they lack a lot of substance in comparison to the radio that was there yesterday. However, since the popularity of today's radio channels is more, if I am to compare it, if I am to see it in today's perspective, people just like listening songs on the go, or if they're walking, or if they're just working. Well, the right people, or if I say true people, true radio lovers, I'm damn sure they must be listening to the old All India radio as well, apart from the new ones too. So that is why I said that I have an emotional bond with the radio. I have seen it right from the time I was a kid. How much people loved it, how much people still love it. Only the meaning and the essence of it has changed a bit, but I still love the old radio, will always love it, which is why reason number one for making AVs, that is audio videos. Reason number two. Now, you've already heard about my emotional reason why I would be making audio videos. Here I am with a more logical explanation as to why I would be making audio videos, which is reason number two. Now, you might have seen a lot of chitty-chatty videos where you find a person sitting behind the camera talking to you and has nothing practically to show you. It's not a haul video, it's not an experimental video, it's not a recipe or a makeup tutorial, but a person is just sitting behind the camera and wants to interact with the viewers. But I feel that every person has their own spotlights, and when you focus on your spotlights instead of focusing on what the person has to say, the purpose intended of the video or the person who's talking about a particular topic, a substantial amount of the focus is lost because we are too much focusing on our own spotlights. Now, these spotlights can be anything. For me, it is different. For you, it might be different. Somebody might be focusing on the hand gestures. Somebody might be focusing on the dress, the makeup, the backdrop, or it could be just anything. So I feel that if I have to make a chitty-chatty video where I just have to speak to you, have to tell you about my journey, my experiences, my emotions that I have lived, my perceptions that I have about the things around the society at large, etc., then I feel audio videos is a better and the best choice because I want my listeners to focus completely on what I have to say so that I can put the purpose intended in entirety and my listeners can take that in entirety with 101% concentration and focus. Because when you are listening to an AV, the visual is completely left to your imagination. All you are doing is just trying and focusing on what the person is saying, which is why AVs. Now, I have a practical reason to why I would be making AVs, and that's coming up next in reason number 3. Let's bring reason number 3 ashore. By now you know my reason number 1 and reason number 2 for making AVs. Reason number one was all emotional reason. Reason number two was a logical reason. And reason number three is the practical reason. So let's just dive into it. But before that, I want to ask all my listeners, how many of you, when you watch the YouTube videos, are actually watching only YouTube videos and not actually doing any other thing? I mean, 100%, you're 100% into watching the video, whatever video that you're watching, but you're 100% into it, not doing any other stuff. If you really do that, or how you manage your time, if you're studying or if you're working, do let me know by commenting down below. As for me, I'm a person who's got a lot on my sleeve. Not only it's the household chores, but it's the client's work, and a lot of itsy-bitsy things is, they keep coming up. So it becomes very difficult for me to just sit down and give my 100% attention to watching only a YouTube video, because that's the way I like to see them. When I'm seeing them, I just want to see them and do nothing else. Practically do not engage in any other activity while I'm doing it, because that's going to divert my attention, and I don't like it that way. As simple as that. So the best time that I find for myself is when I call it a day, when I'm finally into my bed. I just slide in, log on to YouTube, and then watch my favorite channels. But then there comes a little discomfort with watching YouTube videos, or in fact any video, when you're in your bed. Because when you're in your bed, the only thing that you can do is use your hands to hold your phone in a stagnant position till the video is over. So there are three main positions. Now guys, don't start getting any ideas, okay? Okay, three main positions that I was talking about. One is when you lie on your back, hold the phone up in the air with both your hands, and I can bet on that after 10 or 15 seconds your hands are going to tire, and the first thing that you want to do is just throw away the phone and relax your hands. And if you don't do that, after a minute, if you're really that strong, the phone is going to come crashing down on your face. Not a very comfortable position. Now the second and the third position are like just, tossing from left to right and right to left. You hold the phone in a certain position and then you keep watching it. Now if you're a person who wears glasses, prescription glasses, just like me, you take it off when you slip into your bed. So it becomes an obvious reason. You don't have a choice. It's an obvious reason why you're going to hold your phone up close, not exactly into your face, but close, so that you can see what's happening on the screen. You are definitely going to strain your hand, or you're going to strain your neck, because you cannot move it unless and until, the video ends, or you decide that, okay, fine, now I'm going to sleep. So it becomes very uncomfortable. Now I stumbled upon one of the AVs. It was a kind of funny skit or something. It gave me an opportunity to realize that how comforting AVs are if you're a person like me who watches videos when you're in bed, because you can just plug in your earplugs and keep your phone aside any way you like. Relax your arms, take a deep breath, close your eyes so you're not even straining your eyes, and just listen to what the person has to say. So it becomes a very, very happy, comforting, and relaxing proposition if you're listening to an AV rather than watching a video. So I thought that the best practical reason for making an AV is going to be this, and so it is. Now guys, before I wrap up this episode, there is a small information that I wanted to share with all of you, and that is, with episode number 2, we are coming to the end of the informative series on CrazyDNA Season 1. Now don't start thinking that it's the end. Come on guys, how can a Season 1 or any season end on episode number 2? What I'm trying to say is that the information that you required, why CrazyDNA, why the name is CrazyDNA, or what is the purpose of having a channel like CrazyDNA, why making AVs, why not the videos, I have answered all your questions in episode 1 and episode 2. That is why I say that the informative part is coming to an end. So you are up for a treat, guys. Yes, you are all set, all ready to rock and roll with the new sizzling, sensational, and absolutely crazy episodes on Crazy DNA that are going to come further. So you have to stay tuned. Be with me till I come back with episode number 3. And this is your Creative Cray saying a big good night and a big goodbye till I come back. Miss me.